Hello and thanks for staying with us. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service speaks on custom activities in the country. Also on customs reports, Ogun 1 Command sees consignment alongside arms from smugglers operating along the nation's border. Plus, more report. I am Igisime Etienne. Stay tuned. The Customs Controller General has said that Nigerian Customs Service will always implement laws as approved by government. He told custom officers in Abuja when the Customs marks Customs Day in Nigeria.
Our immediate priorities are to enforce mandatory joint inspection by customs and partner government agencies to replace sequential processing, implementing backup systems for network outages, and deploying expanded non-intrusive inspection equipment with body cams. These actions, combined with improved container logistic coordination, can be executed within the next 1 to 3 months, working together with all our stakeholders. In the short to medium terms, initiatives will focus on digital integration, automating delivery order issuance through Bodogu integration with shipping lines, implementing a centralized truck appointment system, and launching an online real-time clearance performance dashboard, establishing a TRS reform task force and implementing the coordinated border management framework will help in providing institutional structure for sustained progress. We expect some impact. If we put these reforms together within the next 1 to 3 months, we can begin to see reduction in clearance time by as much as 40%. And if we put it in the perspective of what we saw today, something from 4 days, 21 hours, approximately 5 days, to 2 days, 22 hours. And we also stand to benefit from improved revenue in the tune of about 3 trillion naira for annual savings. And then it will also allow us to align perfectly Nigerian trade facilitation with AFCFTA and WTO TFA standards. If we are able to do joint inspection alone, it can yield 30 to 40% time reduction while addressing idle time, which currently stands at 90% of the time that we saw in this study. And this represents the single largest improvement opportunity. So, ladies and gentlemen, as we protect our society and reform procedures, we must also sustain the financial health of the state. I'm therefore pleased to report that in 2025, the Nigeria Customs Service collected a total of 7 trillion 281 billion naira, exceeding the target of 6.5 trillion with a positive variance of 697 billion naira, representing a growth of over 10% against our target. When we compare this to 2024 figures, our total revenue rose from 6.1 trillion to 7.28 trillion, an increase of approximately 1.18 trillion, or about 19% year on year. We present these figures not as a self-congratulation, but as evidence that our reforms are yielding tangible outcomes. The gains came not from arbitrary enforcement or the burdening of legitimate traders, but from improved compliance, better data use, digital tools, and disciplined enforcement. More importantly, this performance was achieved while deepening collaboration with the private sector and upholding the trade facilitation commitment. As we look ahead, the question before us is very simple. How do we sustain this dual mission, that of protecting society and that of enabling prosperity, in our era of very complex supply chains, technology-driven crime, and rising expectations for traders and government alike? We are proposing 3 answers. First, we will invest in an intelligence-led, technology-driven enforcement. Illicit trade has become more sophisticated, and customs must be more sophisticated still. Tools such as risk management, non-intrusive inspection, post-clearance audit, and data analytics will play an increasingly central role. The days when our enforcement depended solely on physical presence and checkpoints are over. The future belongs to digital presence. And second, we will institutionalize procedural reforms that reduce clearance time, increase transparency, and eliminate avoidable bottlenecks. The TRS report is a mirror that shows us how others experience our system, and it has challenged us to respond. We are committed to the implementation of its recommendation, including synchronized inspections, better gate coordination, and improved system interoperability. And finally, we will strengthen partnerships. Customs cannot be everywhere, and it cannot do everything. We will work more closely with other government agencies, the organized private sector, ports and maritime operators, financial institutions, and international bodies such as the WCO. Protection and facilitation are both shared responsibility. And as I close, let me return to the WCO theme. Protecting society through vigilance and commitment is a long-term philosophy and not a one-year slogan. It reminds us that safety and prosperity are not mutually exclusive, and that economy and security are not separate agendas. Finally, customs stands at the nexus of both. I really want to acknowledge the support we have received from His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in our reform process, the Honorable Minister of Trade and Investment, who has demonstrated our support with our presence here, the Secretary General of the World Customs Organization and the team at Brussels for the support that they have given us, and of course the government of the United Kingdom for supporting the TRS program. We must also not forget officers and men of the Nigeria Customs Service, many of them who work in very challenging environments, and of course our partners in government and industry who continue to demonstrate that when we collaborate, Nigeria wins. Let us therefore use this year not only to celebrate customs, but to make it more vigilant, more committed, more transparent, and more efficient. I thank you for your attention.
The Nigerian Customs Service deepening global push for greater trade in Nigeria. The custom boss made their session in Abu Dhabi.
The Nigerian Customs Service has reaffirmed its commitment to technology-driven border management and international cooperation as a 2026 World Customs Organization WCO Technology Conference and exhibition commenced on Wednesday, 28 January 2026 at the Abu Dhabi National Exhibition Center, ADNEC, in the United Arab Emirates. The conference, organized by the WCO under the theme Customs Agility in a Complex World, Securing and Facilitating Trade Through Innovation, brings together customs administrations, technology providers, policy makers, and industry leaders from across the globe to examine how innovation can strengthen border security while facilitating legitimate trade. Nigeria's participation in the high-level event underscores the service's ongoing trade modernization drive and its alignment with global best practices in customs administrations, particularly in data exchange, digitization, and intelligence-led enforcement.
You are watching the program Customs Report.
In its continuous war against smuggling of illicit drugs into the country, the Tinkan Island Port Command of the Nigerian Customs Service on Wednesday handed over a 40-foot container of cannabis indica worth over 4.7 billion naira to the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA. During the handover ceremony at the enforcement units of the command, Comptroller Frank Onyeka said, and I quote, "Today we gather to inform you about the recent developments in our operations to secure our nation's borders and ensure public safety, which aligns with the topic of this year's WCO 2026 International Customs Day, Customs Protecting Society through Vigilance and Commitment.
Precisely on Wednesday, the 28th day of January 2026, after an extensive physical examination conducted by our officers alongside other relevant agencies, which include operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency and the Department of State Services, with the declarant, a 1x40-foot container number HLXU8412990 was found to contain a total of 555 jumbo bags of cannabis indica and one called MS4/Series 70.45 automatic caliber pistol with one empty magazine. The 55 jumbo bags of cannabis indica recovered are compressed in 2,366 packages with a combined weight of 1,183 kilograms. The 6 narcotics have an estimated street value of 4,732 million naira, and one suspect has been arrested in connection with these seizures. The examination revealed that the following were used as means of concealment of the prohibited and undeclared items: one used Toyota Santa Fe, one used Toyota Sienna, one used Toyota Matrix. Consequently, the 6 narcotics will be forwarded and formally handed over to the Nigerian Drug Law Enforcement Agency for further investigation and prosecution in line with existing laws. The firearm will also be handed over to the relevant agency in the soonest possible time. The Nigerian Customs Service reiterates that it will not tolerate drug smuggling or any form of transnational crime and remains resolute in its commitment to safeguarding the nation's security and public health. The command wishes to appreciate the Comptroller General of Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, PhD, MFR, PhD Dagger, for his unwavering support, leadership, and strategic guidance, which continue to strengthen interagency collaboration and operational effectiveness.
We source for the intelligence, and as part of the MOU and the existing cooperation in Think and Hear, anytime we communicate to the NCS, to the controller, when we have reasons to suspect a particular container coming from the source country, we notify the controller. And with the help of the controller, the container is stopped, and we do joint examination, which produce these results today.
Officers and men of the Federal Operations Unit Zone A, Nigerian Customs Service Ikeja, have dealt a big blow to smugglers with the seizure of rice consignments and other different items with duty-paid value worth 3.32 billion naira. The controller of the unit, Comptroller Gambo Aliyu, in a press briefing gave details of the seized goods as 6,954 bags of foreign parboiled rice in 11 trailers, 1,431 kilograms of synthetic cannabis, otherwise known as Ghanaian loud. Other items include 77 bags of foreign sugar, each weighing 50 kilograms, 21 units of assorted Tokumbo vehicles, 3,362 jerry cans of foreign vegetable oil, 25 liters each, 20,700 liters of PMS, 915 bales of used clothing, and a 20-foot container of 20 pallets of stone-coated aluminium roofing sheets.
We've cut off the supply chain and we've disrupted the criminal syndicate. That is what we have done. So beyond that, anything having to do with the menace, would be at the doorsteps of our strategic partners, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. For us, there seems to be a nexus between the drug trade and the rising crime and criminality in the land. So for us, cutting off the supply of the drugs also reduces the criminality and the banditry in the land. Terrorism, etc., etc. These guys are stone-hearted. And what gives them the stone heart are these drugs, and these are the chemical catalysts that propel them to do the things that they do. This is a result of a coordinated operation along the Southwest Corridor. And I'm sure you know that the Southwest Corridor is quite expansive. It spans all the coastal area, down to the border community, down, sharing borders with Kwara, etc., 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 and stuff. And so most of what you see are pockets of seizures made in different places, all within the Southwestern Corridor.
So I liked the relentless effort of our partners in combating narcotic trafficking. Ghana Loud is a highly potent strength, and its intersection will disrupt supply chains, preventing arms to our communities.
The PTLM command of Nigerian Customs Service has handed over arms and ammunition to the appropriate authority at the port. The controller warned importers against importation of arms into the country.
The Nigerian Customs Service Port and Terminal Multi-Services Limited Command on Thursday, January 30, 2026, handed over a cache of seized arms and ammunition to the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons, NCCSALW, reaffirming its resolve to combat arms smuggling and strengthen inter-agency collaboration. Speaking during the handover ceremony, the Customs Area Controller, Controller Joe Anani, said the exercise underscored the command's zero-tolerance stance against unlawful trade, its commitment to facilitating legitimate commerce, and its dedication to sustain cooperation with sister security agencies.
These arms and ammunition were uncovered in 25 different occasions by our officers during the examination on imported vehicles between the year 2022 to 2025. These seizures are fallout of the collective due diligence of the command and other sisters agencies in the port. We are using this occasion to reiterate that PTML remains a no-go area for unlawful trade under any guise. As a command, we have an unshaking commitment to implement the revised Kyoto Convention, which is a World Customs Organization instrument for trade facilitation, while using available manpower and technology to exercise the required control for import and export trade.
Comptroller Anani noted that the handover was carried out with the approval of the Comptroller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, under whose supervision the seizures were recorded.
It is pertinent to state that this handing over is happening following the approval of the Comptroller General of Customs, Dr. Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, PSC, DAGA. Underscores whose supervision these seizures were made. On behalf of the CGC, I hereby formally hand over these seizures to the National Center for the Control of Small Arms and Light Weapons for appropriate action. Thank you very much for your rapt attention.
No agency can tackle this challenge alone. It requires sustained collaboration, mutual support, and effective intelligence sharing. We will continue to partner with the Nigerian Customs Service and other sister security agencies in ensuring that the challenges of illicit arms proliferation are addressed.
The items handed over included 5 pistols of different makes, 1 Crossman Pump Master Rifle, 132 rounds of Remington Live cartridges, 51 rounds of 9mm Luger ammunition, 4 9mm magazines, 40 rounds of assorted 9mm NIM-FC 30-30 blank and hollow ammunition, as well as 118 empty 9mm shells.
The founder of NAGAF has urged members to continue to follow the rules as approved by government in clearance of their consignment at the port.
The founder of the National Association of Government-Approved Freight Forwarders, NAGAF, Dr. Boniface Aniebonam, has recommissioned the compliance team, emphasizing the need for strict adherence to laws and regulations governing Nigeria's freight forwarding industry. The move aims to ensure only qualified persons are involved in freight forwarding, aligning with President Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Dr. Aniebonam praised key NAGAF members, including Alhaji Ibrahim Tanko, Chief Tochukwu Ezisi, and Dr. Shegun Musa, for their contributions to the association's progress. The compliance team, inaugurated in February 2021, serves as NAGAF's enforcement arm, ensuring freight forwarders and government agencies comply with regulations.
We need to evolve ethical standards in the course of our duty. We need to highlight our operations professionally so that we can be taken, we can be seen like other professionals. TRFFN has a mandate. The mandate is to ensure that qualified persons are involved in freight forwarding practice in Nigeria. We are going to achieve that. The important thing is that the law is there. I urge Mr. President, Franco, Secretary and others to keep eyes on the ball.
NAGAF President Chief Tochukwu Ezisi assured the compliance team of the association's total support, while Alhaji Ibrahim Tanko, national coordinator of the compliance team, warned that the team will go digital and collaborate with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, to ensure efficiency.
The acting controller in charge of Ogun 1 Command has handed over arms and ammunition to the appropriate authority at the border. He said that Nigerian Customs Service will continue to fight against smugglers who want to bring down the laws and also harm Nigerian Customs Service officers who are ready to work for the government. He speaks more on a number of issues.
Ammunition is classified under Schedule 4 of Absolute Prohibition List of Common External Tariff of Nigeria Customs Service. This monumental seizure is commendable at the backdrop of heightened insecurity in the land. Should 1,315 explosive and 2,128 rounds of live ammunition of this magnitude escape into the country and fall into wrong hands, the consequences will be devastating.
The Ogun 1 Customs Command of the NCS, under the leadership of Deputy Comptroller Afeni, has announced seizures worth over 4.130 billion naira during the 2025 fiscal year. Briefing newsmen in the Ogun 1 Command headquarters at Idiroko on Thursday, Afeni said the figure was against the over 1.79 billion naira duty-paid value of 2024, stating that the seizures totaled 487 as a result of intelligence-driven operations and the dedication of officers. He further informed that more than 454.672 billion naira, 406 naira, was collected by the command and remitted into the Federation and non-Federation accounts of the government.
I am pleased to highlight the remarkable achievement recorded by Ogun 1 Area Command in the year 2025 and the progress made so far this year, 2026. These achievements underscore our unwavering commitment to Nigeria Customs Service core mandate of revenue generation, anti-smuggling, and trade facilitation. In the area of revenue generation, in the fiscal year 2025,
The Ogun 1 Area Command generated and remitted the sum of 454,672,406 to the Federation and non-Federation accounts of the federal government, respectively. This clearly shows that the revenue profile of the command has significantly increased by about 47% when compared with the collection of 275,835,602 naira in the year 2024. We are determined to do more and surpass what was collected last year, 2025. We have started 2026 on the right foot, and this is evident in what we have generated from January 1, 2026 to yesterday, 28 January 2026. We have collected and remitted the sum of 106,277,312 to the Federation account, which is above what was generated same month last year with 89.5 million, which represents 84.3% increment.
The acting controller in charge of Oyo and Osun commands has seized consignment worth over 2.7 billion naira for smugglers operating along the nation's borderline.
The Nigerian Customs Service says it seized goods worth more than 2.7 billion naira in the Oyo-Osun Area Command within 1 month, according to the Acting Area Controller, Deputy Controller Wale Moses Adewale. Speaking at his maiden press briefing for 2026, Adewale said the seizures were made through intelligence-led operations and sustained patrols across major smuggling routes. Items intercepted included 2,234 bags of foreign parboiled rice, over 1,100 used tires, 562 kegs of petrol, 124 bales of used clothing, and narcotics such as cannabis, codeine syrup, and tramadol. Several Tokumbo vehicles and trucks used for conveyance were also seized.
In collaboration approach yield a commendable result for Oyo-Osun Command. For the year 2025, the target for Oyo-Osun Command is 86 billion 297 million 581,081 naira. No cover. That's from January 2025 till December 2025. At the end of the year 25, the Oyo-Osun Command able to generate 99 billion 433 million 05 naira. When you add and subtract, you will see that the Oyo-Osun Command has surplus of 13 billion 135 million 424,783 naira.
He added that the command generated more than 8.3 billion naira in revenue in December 2025 and exceeded its annual revenue target for the year. The command recorded a surplus of 13.1 billion naira above its 2025 target of 86.3 billion naira, representing a 15.22% increase. Adewale credited the performance to improved compliance from traders, stronger monitoring, and the commitments of officers.
Just before I round up this week edition of the program, Customs Report, we brought you a report where Nigerian Customs Service has continued to warn importers against importation of firearms into the country. For me, Igeseme Etinye, thanks for watching.